So today, what we're going to be talking about is how my site got de-indexed from Google, and it was literally to 3 months today. So it's 3 months ago that this happened. My site was de-indexed manually from Google. This was happening during the March the 5th core updates, and obviously, me and Kazra, back in the day, 3 months ago to this day, we did a live stream together, didn't we? Talking through the whole process and how it happened. So I think it's time for a follow up video in terms of what happened next, how I recovered. One of the craziest things that I'll come on to in a minute is actually the amount of sales calls booked in the week after my agency site was de indexed by Google actually tripled week on week from SEO. But we'll come on to that in a minute, and we'll come on to some of the most actionable ways that I think you can implement some of the things I've learned and how to get more traffic. So, welcome, Kazra.
Hello. I've also got the title Google HQT boy as well. So, but yeah, it's been 90 days. What's the first thing you've learned? Would you say?
First thing I've learned, probably don't publish public case studies, especially like those ones on YouTube, right? Like I think if you're creating content where you're showcasing the SEO experiments you're running, do them a bit more discreetly. Like it's okay to share that information, but blasting them out on Twitter, blasting them out on YouTube, probably not the best idea. And that's why I post everything inside the SEO boardroom instead.
Yeah, I think that's a common reoccurrence with SEOs. They'll scream and shout either on stage or on YouTube or on toxic Twitter, and they'll essentially get hit by Google, or Google will personally go after them. And I can see why Google's doing it, but I can also see why it is wrong. Because essentially you're finding a loophole. Like for example, we're going back a few years, but Kyle Roof, prime example, he started ranking with Lorem Ipsum, and Google went after him personally, and they took down like 30 or 40 websites of his. And another prime example is probably about, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, they went after Charles personally, and done a manual action on his website. So I think I can see why Google do it, but I can also understand why it is a wrong thing to do, because it's essentially kind of like finding a hack in a game. It's like you've got the unlimited health hack in an online game. That game provider is just going to be pissed off at myself or you for finding that.
Yeah, 100%. One of the questions we just got through from Income Stream Surfers, shout out to Hamish, is in my opinion, it's the velocity of content, not public websites. What are your thoughts? So, for me personally, I would say that it was the way that I was creating content that I think Google didn't like. So, for example, just creating mass amounts of content as an experiment. I always said, don't do this, but I think that got lost in the message.
When he's saying velocity of content, does he mean as in like uploading daily or what?
The amount of content produced on the websites, right? So, for example,
Ah,
if you do a video like how I published 1,000 blogs in 60 minutes, yeah, that's in terms of content velocity, that was probably pushing the edge a bit too much. So, I think this is certainly one of the things. I think it's just the way that I was creating content that Google didn't like, and they thought, right, we're going to stamp that out because it's ranking and just make it an example to make sure that everyone doesn't do it.
I remember I'd done a video and I probably analyzed about 20 or 30 different websites that got hit with the manual content spam, or whatever the actual penalty was. And every single website was essentially what Hamish is saying, like content velocity at scale. And you could just see that it was like, even though it was like a 2,000 word article, it was just thin content. It was just scraped content. You might have altered it a little bit. And at that point, it's not even AI content. It's just spam content. And that's what a lot of people did get hit for.
One of the things that I would say though is like it was definitely only the public facing websites, like websites in the background that were using similar strategies, still ranking today, still making money today. So I think it's, and also these sites were hit manually. within the same search console. So like anything I had ownership of within the same search console got hit. And so it was like they de-index a public facing case study, and then anything else within that Google search console that I had ownership of. So yeah, it was one of those where it was a mix. It was like doing something that Google didn't like, and then additionally publicly showing that it was ranking, and so those two things in combination. But what I would say is I don't blame Google. Like I always said from day one, these sites could get de-indexed, and they did. So I just predicted it. I thought it would come sooner.
Yeah, I think at that point you just need to take full accountability and like anything, even if you were doing Facebook ads for CBD, let's say, there is always the chance of your account being shut down. So as long as you know that in the back of your head, but you're like, right, I've got 30 days, let's say, or 90 days to make as much money as I possibly can, and this is the strategy that I'm going to stick by, then so be it. Like everybody does it. There's a lot of spam that happens in foreign SERPs that's way worse than publishing 1,000 articles a day and stuff like that. Like there's, yeah, just I think it's one of them. It's like it's definitely not a future proof strategy, but it's definitely like okay, I'll make as much money as I possibly can and then move on.
Someone asked, and just to recap for anyone who's new to this, so someone asked, I'm not going to try and pronounce the name. I think it's Nguyen Chow, but I could be totally wrong there. They said, what site was it? So this was for cheaperbirds.com, relaxlikeaboss.com, Astrological Eden. These sites were public facing and took a bit of hit. Also, Vogel Thunderland and Discovery Aves. So it was like all these sites were flying in traffic using the same strategies, but all public facing, and they got hit.
You name your site some wild names.
Yeah, I've only got ChatGPT to thank for that.
Fair enough.
So yeah, and then let's talk about what happened next. So after that, it was a case of okay, agency site got de-indexed, right? JulianGoldie.com got de-indexed. It's not ranking even for my name now. And so what I've seen is the week after, it was only my YouTube channel that was ranking like number one. So YouTube essentially replaced my own website. And the craziest thing about all of this is that I actually got more sales calls booked in from YouTube because that really converts very, very well versus if the same traffic Googled my name and then went to my website. And so it was really interesting to see that actually, when I look at it, one of the biggest revelations, one of the biggest mindset hacks I've had, and I was talking to Charles Float about this yesterday, was that quite often now you don't need a website to rank. Like if you're creating good quality content, you can rank on Google really well. We all know that. Kazra, you know that with YouTube, for example, if you're creating like top level content, it's going to rank for that word and stay ranking. And that particular content, if it's a video, typically converts better than just like a blog post where they don't really get to know you, or they don't watch your content, or they don't engage for it with as long. So it was interesting to see that.
I think like for what we do, anything that's agency based, for somebody to jump on a video like a live stream like this, or or just a base video, it takes a lot of balls to do it. It's not like not everyone can do it. So what people typically do is they'll just write an article on how great they are as an SEO agency or as a link building agency, and they're like, right, brilliant, I'm ranking number 2 or number 1 now, I'm going to start getting leads. But typically what you will find is people will want to search and see who Julian Goldie is or Kazra Dash is. They want to know how many years Kazra Dash has been the Google HQT boy. So they'll look at your experience. What's that?
We all want to know that. How long have you been making tea for?
Since the Google leaks. So yeah. No, but like it is the truth. Like people will want to figure out like, okay, Julian Goldie, yes, he might deliver some really good links, but what case studies does he have? And obviously you had, or you still do, you've got a lot of case studies under your belt, and they're like, right, brilliant, he's had these 40 websites that he's been able to rank position 1 and get so much traffic through to. they'll just trust you a lot more.
Yeah, I think as well, it really converts well because here's the other thing about YouTube, for example. If someone lands on a YouTube video, the
Mhm.
algorithm, if that content is good, will push more and more content, more and more videos from that creator to the audience watching, right? So, for example, if John finds my YouTube video ranking on Google for my name, they watch it, they engage with it, then they're going to see like 3 to 5 more videos when they log back into YouTube on their mobile app, on the desktop, etc. So it's kind of like free retargeting where instead of someone just reading the blog, scanning through it, and not buying anything, they're watching like hours of footage, learning to trust that person, seeing how skilled they are at whatever they do. You know, you could be like a doctor, you could be a tennis player, whatever it is, and that content converts so well because of it. The other thing that I want to say as well is like it wasn't just YouTube that was generating us traffic. Thankfully, way before any of this started, I diversified everything, right? So, for example, we don't just get traffic off YouTube, we get it, for example, from LinkedIn, from Facebook groups, from the email list, from custom GPTs, from multiple websites, even guest blogging on other people's websites. Like those tend to rank pretty well. So, when you diversify your traffic like this, if your site gets the index, you don't even care. Like it doesn't even phase you.
Yeah, I mean, like there's certain people that I know and they do very well, and their website doesn't rank that well, but they're, say for example, they're an SEO agency, and you've probably had it yourself, and there's probably a few SEO agency owners listening in, where sometimes you might start getting bombarded with clients, and you focus more your time and effort on their websites as opposed to your own website, and naturally your website starts dropping a couple positions. But some of the people that I know have paid Clutch, like let's say £2,000 a month or $2,000 a month to get positioned as slot number one for best SEO agency in Dubai, let's say. And a lot of people do go through Clutch or potentially other, like for example G2 if you're a SaaS company, and they get a lot of their traffic from those platforms. So that's another strategy that you can go down as well. Even if you might not have the budget to rank your own websites, and you might just want a few extra leads every single month, you can definitely go to sites like G2 and Clutch and pay the premium. And you can obviously it might work for some industries better than others, but what you'd probably want to do is KPI it and say, right, for the next 3 months, I'm going to sink, let's say $6,000, $7,000 into this listing, and I'm going to track how many inquiries I get from it.
Yeah, 100%. And the other thing that I would say is like, quite. I don't know if you ever used to play football, but we used to call it Route One football, where you just go and attack, and like there's no messing around with fancy tactics. It's very very direct in terms of the style, and I would say this is almost Route One SEO, where you're like, okay, I could create a website about a niche I don't even know converts, hope it ranks, invest time, resources, hire a team, build backlinks, etc. Or I could go, right, I want to rank within 48 hours. I'm going to create this amazing video. I'll spend a few hours on it, but it's going to rank within 24, 48 hours, and it's going to generate and stay ranking.
Yeah.
And that's what I think. Like, I'll give you a couple of examples now. So this works any platform, as long as you're not spamming and you're creating good quality content, right? So, for example, this is a keyword extraction tool, and if you want to learn how to build these custom GPTs, it takes literally minutes, and I created a video about it yesterday. Check that out on the channel. But essentially, what you can see here is that this website right here is a custom GPT tool, and it's designed to rank for the keyword free keyword extraction tool, right? And so people use that, and then when they use it, they're going to be recommended my funnel links as well, which drives traffic for our agency and still converts really nicely. And you're creating something really useful because this actually finds keywords. Now, at the same time, if you look at the traffic of this website, particularly since March the 5th, since the core update, you'll see that the traffic is increasing like exponentially over time, right? It's ranking for a bunch of keywords, as you can see. And these are not like really easy keywords. Like this is a, KD17 over there that's ranking. Same with this custom GPT as well, the keyword research. Its traffic since March the 5th has just increased. And it's ranking number one for, some some challenging keywords like this one, KD20 right there, and that creates something useful for the user, ranks really well, seems to increase in rankings after every update, and also generates more traffic to your funnel. So it's like a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, I think I think it's like anything. Definitely do not rely on just one algorithm. It doesn't matter if you're doing Facebook ads. It doesn't matter if you're just doing PPC. Everything's got an algorithm. Like I remember about 2 years ago now, they messed around with the exact match on Google PPC, and a lot of PPC agencies just collapsed overnight because that's what they were bidding on for a lot of their clients. Um, Facebook ads. I've been a victim of this myself. I used to run a Facebook ads agency, and about 4 or 5 years ago, when they done the iOS update, completely tanked a lot of the results that I was getting for clients and for my own assets as well. Literally, I went from generating from 250 leads a day down to literally like 45 leads a day. And bearing in mind, massive call center, had to essentially figure out why Facebook ads isn't performing as well. It's obviously working better than ever now, but everything's got an algorithm. Even like I'm seeing people talk a lot about Pinterest traffic, and it's like, well, now you've just went from relying solely on Google to now solely relying on Pinterest. Do you not think that Pinterest is going to change the algorithm at some point, and it's not going to favor your tactic? And another thing about all of the algorithms and stuff is try to have an open mind. Like there's a lot of SEOs that I speak to, and they're dead arrogant. They're like, no, my way or the highway. And it's like, all right, you can do that, but if you're not willing to test, if you're not willing to innovate, you're probably just going to die at some or not physically die, but your strategy is going to physically die at one point. So just bear that in mind whenever you're doing any form of digital marketing. You need to be seen as many places as you possibly can that makes sense. And also, you should probably be testing as well. Like I don't know how many people watch and have a test website, but we've got a load of test websites which we do daily tests on. So whenever somebody comes up with some SEO myth or some SEO theory, we're probably one of the first to actually test it.
Yeah, exactly. Same for me. Like I saw this crazy hack today where I don't know how to explain this without explaining everything, but I posted it in the SEO boardroom. If anyone's watching this and are already a member, you'll see it in there. But essentially, there's a new platform you can post content on, and it's ranking like crazy. Like within the last couple of weeks, it's gone from like 0 to 87,000 traffic, and that's just going up like. And it's easy for anyone to generate content on there and start ranking. It's like there's so many opportunities there. You have to test, and you always have to look for new opportunities. For me, I kind of something that I learned. I used to meditate a lot back in the day, and there's this concept of like beginner's mind, where essentially you come with like a fresh mind, and you have that humility to say, right, I don't know everything. Like Kazra probably knows loads more stuff than me, for example, and I'm just going to try and learn and look at everything as a beginner, so that I open my mind and I can learn new strategies without the bias of my own ego.
Yeah, definitely.
Without getting too deep.
No, I agree. Like there's a lot of people that I speak to, and they're just starting out in SEO, and they want to get to like level 100, and it's like, whoa, hold on a minute, you're not even level 5 yet. Like conquer the first 10 levels, and then we might start talking. But it's like, yeah, you just don't need to worry about certain things as well. And another thing as well, if you are just starting out in SEO, never overanalyze stuff. Like I know we've just spoke about all these different SEO strategies, like YouTube SEO, Clutch and G2 and chat custom GBTs and stuff. Just focus on one thing to begin with. Get really good at it, and then start scaling out all the other stuff around it. So, for example, if you're looking to set up an SEO agency, maybe start off by creating like, I don't know, 10 different pages to wherever you are, and then start doing videos for them. Then once you've done the videos, try to figure out how to rank the videos. And then once you've ranked the videos, try to figure out how you can improve your SEO pages. You just need to take it in small increments.
We'll come on to some of the questions in the comments in a second. We'll do like a quick fire round and quickly blast through those in a second. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to comment inside the question section and smash a like on this video if you're enjoying it, just so we can reach more people. One thing that I would say as well is this is a big mindset switch for me. It's like, I'm not going to wait anymore to build out a website and see if it starts converting. I'm going to see if that traffic converts straight off the bat by ranking on other platforms. And then once it starts ranking, within 48 hours or 24 hours for my ideal keyword, then if it converts and if it makes money and I can test it very quickly, then I'll build out a site. But I'm not going to invest any resources into this. And I think it's a very efficient way to do things that most people building out niche sites don't even think about.
Yeah, it's I think at the end of the day, people need to understand that SEO isn't cheap. Like, for example, the average cost of a backlink is probably about $300. And that's not if you're in a competitive niche. That's just like on the easier niches. If you're in gambling or if you're in CBD or crypto or anything like that, it's probably about $900, maybe even more than that. But to go gung ho and just say, right, I'm gonna rank this website and I'm gonna make millions, it's quite a stupid idea. What you should probably be doing is the competitor research, trying to figure out how much they're spending. And another thing that I don't probably speak about enough is the lifetime value of somebody visiting your website. Or it doesn't matter if you're doing any form of advertising, if it's Facebook ads, PPC, SEO. But if your average order value or your lifetime value of a client is pretty low, let's say it's $50, that's how much they spend with you, and you're spending $5,000 a month on SEO, you're probably going to want to up that average order value and the lifetime value of that client. Because then it doesn't matter if you're doing SEO or Facebook ads or PPC, it's just going to be a failing digital marketing strategy, and your back end's not good enough. So just bear that in mind if you guys are trying to rank. Always think of like how you can squeeze more out of somebody that is visiting your website.
Yeah, exactly. So just to recap for anyone watching, we've covered why my site's got de-indexed and how to avoid it yourself, how I tripled my sales scores after getting my site de-indexed, the all your fault mindsets are basically, this was my fault. Like, the site's getting de-indexed, 100% my fault. But I've shown you how you can adapt by ranking on other platforms, testing if that converts, and then if it converts, you can build a site out later. But this is one of the easiest and fastest ways to rank, like I've talked about. Even with custom GPTs, you can rank and stay ranking, and it actually improves in traffic after updates from what we've seen so far. Final couple of things I want to say is no need to, I would honestly say, and it's just because I want to save people time and I want to save people money and I like to see them get results, is like, you don't need to build out a new site if you haven't tested if it converts yet. Like, rank on a different platform, create something really of value there that ranks and stays ranking, and if it converts and if it makes you money, then you can build out your site. And that is a route one SEO strategy. So unless you got anything to add, we can quickly blast through the questions as well in the comments.
Just one last thing on that point, because I used to do this myself. To be fair, I still do quite a lot of Facebook ads and stuff. But for example, for somebody that's never done Facebook advertising, basically you're giving Facebook some money every single day. And in return, it's kind of like a billboard. Whenever somebody goes on their phone, they see your ad. Now, you can do this for like e-commerce, you can do it for SEO services, you can do it for whatever. But in some cases, you might be thinking of a service that you want to provide. Let's say you want to be I don't know, a marketing manager or a outsourced marketing manager, but you just don't know if the niche is going to work. You can potentially sell that service, not provide it, and see if that funnel actually works first. Then once you start getting some signups and stuff, and then you basically know if it's working or not. You can then just say, hey, the service has been delayed for 15 days or for 30 days. We're going to give you some discount. We're going to give you some free stuff as well. And that's how you're testing to see if an industry works or not. So it's kind of similar to what you're saying with the SEO, like ranking on other websites and on other platforms. But it's a good way of just testing to see if a niche or an industry works.
Yeah, that's the best. Test it, see if it converts, and then invest time into it later. So we're going to quick fire on these questions. So one of the questions we've got: what site? Cheaperbirds.com, Astrological Eden, the infamous Vogel Funderland, discovereaves.com, thank you, ChatGPT, and Relax Like a Boss. We've covered income stream surface question. Mark says creating a lot of content for the sake of making content for ad revenue is sort of spam per se. Yeah, I would agree with that. Mark also says, I remember the penguin and panda updates, sort of the same thing, which I would say, I don't know about you, Kazra, but I figured like I've never seen the SEO industry so shook as it was on March the 5th. Like, it was
Yeah.
kind of,
I think Penguin and Panda were probably a little bit worse. Like there was websites that just got completely de-indexed, weren't there overnight because they went and got some links, and yeah, this is a breeze in comparison to Penguin and Panda. Like HCU is a breeze.
coming on to the next one. So, Best Game says, based on Hamish income stream surface site, I have a theory that his site survived the update because the site runs on Shopify, and so Google could have considered like an e-commerce site. What do you think? Do you know what I was thinking? I had a theory about income stream surface site because I know it's his client site. This I think it's twomen.it, and I was wondering potentially it's because he didn't have, and this is just a guess, he didn't have ownership of that client site on Google Search Console, and therefore it wasn't penalized publicly. But just a guess. That's the only thing I could think of because I know that site is doing really well.
Yeah, it depends on the ownership status as well, and the people that are saying that because it's e-commerce, that's not necessarily true. They obviously have a different ranking pattern for e-commerce stores, but if we're going down the path of is it because it's an affiliate or e-commerce, it's definitely not the reason why, because there's if you think of the user journey of somebody that is visiting an e-commerce store, they just stick around on your website a lot longer, which is a positive ranking factor in Google's eyes. So that's why it looks like they're favoring e-commerce stores more. But the fact is that the affiliate sites and the ad revenue sites, they just suck at SEO. Like that's the basic of it. Like for example, you're answering a question that should just be on another page with a 6,000 word article, and you're just trying to rank that article. Is that really a good user experience? Definitely not. Whereas if somebody is landing on an e-commerce store, if you think of it, right, let's say they search best laptops, or I don't know, give me a brand of a laptop, a MacBook laptop, right? So they've landed on the category page, so that now they're looking at which MacBook to buy. They select the MacBook Pro 16-inch or whatever. That's 2 pages they've visited. Then you've got the customization page. That's 3 pages they've visited. Then you've got the cart page. Then you've got the checkout page. Then you've got the thank you page. That's like 6 or 7 pages. And then you can also track your order as well. So that's like 8 or 9 pages they're visiting, whereas you, as the greedy affiliate, they've only just clicked on like 1 or 2 pages. So it's just a bad user journey, the ad revenue sites and stuff. Personally, I just don't see a future with them, unless you are genuinely providing something of value. Like yeah.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I would agree. Like, I think, the ads, sites with a lot of ads on, user experience is horrible 9 times out of 10. I'm going to keep going through, but we'll make it rapid fire. So the next one by Cheddar Bomb. Shout out to Cheddar Bomb. I see him or her on a few different live streams. Says, so maybe it's best to create a separate Gmail, Google console for each site. So for me personally, it's very different, I think, to most people out there because obviously being an SEO influencer, like you become a target sometimes, right? So like you have to be a lot more careful. I think for the average person, like this is not even something you need to worry about. But don't know what your take is on it, Kazra.
Um, yeah, you can do, or just don't be public facing. Don't scream and shout about it on toxic Twitter. And you should be fine.
Sal Fuller says, "What should be the readability level of AI content?" I want to ask Dash. It's a question for
The
you.
the T boy gets the answer. So readability level. I've not really got a readability level where I'm like, right, it needs to be higher than 84.26 or whatever. But I'll tell you the process that I've got. So, for example, if it is an article, a blog article, let's say we want to talk about best, or actually how to tie your shoes, right? What I typically like to do is I'll run it through auto blogging, and then after that I will use potentially Grammarly to fix up any grammar issues. And then you can also use what's the tool that the team uses? What
Hemingway.
Hemingway, yeah. And then Hemingway, anything less than, is it 7 that's green? We just aim for green. But it, if I'm being 100% honest with you, in some cases that is overkill. That's the full strategy, but you can probably just get away with just running it through Grammarly as well.
Kirill says, "Hey Julian, hey Gazra, have a great day, bros. You are awesome." Shout out to Kirill. Thanks for posting there. I think
Thanks,
he's got
mate.
a question that he posted later, which is actually, what do you think of rewriting the content still with ChatGPT for the website's content that's stored on 5th of March? So, for example, like I guess he's talking about like if you got Astrological Eden, which was ranking like crazy well, and then you rewrote that with ChatGPT again and then reposted it. What's your take?
So that could work. Well, actually, that would probably work. And the reason why I'm saying that is I'm working on a case study in a minute for the HCU. And that is one of the things that we are doing. We are rewriting a lot of articles, and fixing a lot of crap articles as well, and getting rid of some articles. But he's along the right lines. I would probably agree with that.
Don says links are the most important without score backlinks at the top. Yeah, I would agree. Links still the
Yeah.
most important thing. Fat J, shout out to Fat J, says, "Hi, I got a question. If I change 2000 URLs and use 301, will that negatively affect my website or does it matter if I use 301?"
No, that should be fine. Like, for example, TransferWise 301 redirected to Wise, and they were already massive. I think they had like 2.1 million traffic, or they were ranking for 2.1 million keywords. I don't remember which one when they were TransferWise, and now it's just wise.com. And they done a mass redirect, but you just need to make certain that you're aligning everything. So if let's say it's fatj.com, and you're redirecting to j.com, redirect fatj.com to j.com. And then if you've got like a page on, I don't know, the best bouncing balls, so it's / best bouncing balls on fatj.com, you just need to recreate that page on j.com and just individually redirect all the URLs, or find a way of automating that, because if it's 2,000 URLs, that's quite a lot of URLs, but you should be fine.
Another question we got from No Man, which is which site's got the index. But if you rewind the video, you'll see that we talk through the whole situation, the story, and how we got over and that sort of thing. Kirill has already asked that question. And Dan says, that is what Charles said and Greg Morrison need to score the lead juicy backlinks. H1 and H2 good site structure. I think Julian feels the same way. So, backlinks for me is still the most important ranking factor. Like, if you look at the sites that are performing the best, typically they have the most backlinks. Like, you got Reddit with the, DR90 website. You got the custom GPTs I showed you earlier. They're DR92 sites. The good thing is, like, once a site has a lot of backlinks pointing to the overall site, its inner pages, sometimes even if they don't have backlinks pointing to them, can rank really well. Just like we've all seen with LinkedIn, with Reddit, with Medium, with custom GPTs, etc.
Do you know what? I'm going to go off on a rant here. Um, the people that say that backlinks don't matter are probably the people that are working on massive websites. So, for example, if IKEA hired me tomorrow, or if Yell.com or Yelp hired me as the head SEO tomorrow, not that I would take the job, but those sites probably don't need any links, and it's those types of people that are preaching links don't matter. Well, yeah, because you've got a DR95 website. If I was the head SEO at Forbes.com, of course I'm going to say links don't matter, because guess what, I've probably got 4.5 million backlinks pointing through to my website. Whereas if you're a guy like myself or Julian, and you're setting up a brand new website, well, how are you naturally going to get links if every article that you publish is on page 6? Nobody even goes past page 1. So don't listen to the people that say links don't matter, because they probably just don't know what the hell they're doing with brand new websites. They're probably working on these massive conglomerate sites. And yeah, for on Forbes.com, links probably don't matter because they just rank.
Yeah, 100%. If you check out my other video on YouTube about backlinks trash, I run through the case studies and the data and several examples, which will run you through it. We're going to quick fire these. I'll go in a few minutes. So Birds Life, shout out to Birds Life. Hope you're doing better than Chipper Birds. Says, I get confused every time with blog page or category pages. The breadcrumbs in URL structure cause headache. Suggest one best breadcrumb structure for a law firm website. Should I make categories? So if you want to simplify it, really easy way to simplify it is just a topical map, right? You generate a topical map, got loads of videos on it, a lot with Kazaa as well. And basically, you just have a structure where it's like categories that ChatGPT can generate based on your competitors. And then you have the pages underneath each one. And you just link to it, right? So, for example, within your category, you got several inner pages, they link to each other, the category links to those inner pages, and that's it. So, for example, for a law firm, it might be like, I don't know, uh, like HR law. And then you've got all these different pages around HR law underneath each other that are linking to each other, and the categories linking to that. But I would say just keep it simple, like you say.
There's there is a good video on my channel talking about literally law firm SEO. I'll see if I can find it and I'll link it to you.
We got a great question for you, Kazra.
Go on.
You ready for this one? Snoop Dogg is asking how much does she make a month?
At Google HQ, I'm just the apprentice. I'm just here to learn. I
Kirill
definitely
said,
don't make as much as Snoop Dogg. I'll tell you that.
Kirill says, addition, it's a Google leak says something about 20 times versions being saved in Google DB. Yeah, this is an interesting one. So, like, different versions of a website are saved within the database on Google. It's hard to see how much is weighed by that data, but I think there's going to be some more interesting stuff that comes out. I know Charles just did a video on it recently. Any insights on that, Kazra?
Yeah, it's there's just too much data to look through it all. Like there was a few things that I think that a bit, just recapping on the Google leaks thing. I think it just, anything that SEOs were a little bit uncertain of, that it kind of just reconfirms in the leaks. And it was just funny to see that there was a few things that obviously Google Search Liaison had said no, that's not a ranking factor, and you actually looked up at the leaks and it is.
Another one from Mark is that I know someone who has a handful of Amazon micro niche sites. He makes about $1,000 a month. These sites are like 5 to 10 pages. I think microsites method is pretty good because if you look at the way that sites just get wiped out after some of these updates, when you have a few microsites, the risk is lower, the time to produce them is lower, and the investment is lower too. If you rank for something that's quite high ticket, like there was a guy in the SEO boardroom, created a new website. Within 2 weeks, he already made $500 straight off the bat. It's like if you go after the right niches and you find the right offers, you can make money off like a small new site. You just have to find the right things. Indanil Health, we've got a few more questions, but we'll have to rush through them now. Says, best backlinks can e-commerce website get ranking? I think Google new domains rank to first page. I'm not sure about that sentence structure, but what I would say is Typically for our clients, like when it comes to e-commerce, we'll do link inserts. So we'll insert links from other relevant high quality sites, vet them very carefully, and then build backlinks. And that works over and over and over again. In fact, Jay says, okay, thanks, happy to help. Bird's Life suggests best perma link structure for a law firm.
You're overthinking this big time. Just start producing articles. Because the thing is, if you've not got a page on, let's say, um, lo- a lawyers for divorce, you're not going to rank for lawyers for divorce in your area, let's say Minnesota or wherever. So just start creating articles like the permalink structure doesn't. It's not going to rank your website. It's not going to break your website either. Just start producing, make certain everything's internally linked. So if you have, let's say, 20 articles talking about divorce law, make certain that they're all internally linking to each other. Don't even worry about the permalink structure personally.
Pro article says today had 15x more visits. Congratulations.
It's
That's
good.
good to see. Shout out to getting stuff done. The Snoop Dogg says, do you still believe disavows work?
Yeah, working better than ever. Actually got a case study of a site. Should be live this month on my YouTube channel, talking about disavows.
When will the search engine really stabilize? We're tired of the updates and I don't know what to do. I mean, honestly, if you so here's the thing that I would say is like search engines are really volatile because they're being updated like every single day, and then you have to expect that volatility is part of the game. So these updates they come along like every 30, every 60, sometimes every 90 days, and it's like the same things work really well if you know what you're doing. So, for example, if you look at the SEO boardroom, I've posted videos about this recently, but every single week we have a long list of members who all posted their wins, and it's easier and faster to rank than ever before if you focus on the right things. And so, if you don't know what to do, just research on like how to find the right ways to rank. If you want some advice on that, then check out the SEO Elite Circle or the SEO boardroom. But yeah, it's easier and faster to rank than ever before. You just need to know the right strategies. Snoop Dogg has another question for you there. Fat J says, do e-commerce sites rank better than normal sites? And why do you think that is?
Um, I think the reason why e-commerce sites rank better than normal sites is the fact that with e-commerce, like you can wait. It's a lot easier on some product pages to rank. So if, say, for example, and I see this time and time again, there's a lot of e-commerce stores that they don't have unique content, for example. And if you just come in with your product pages and you just rank, or sorry, if you add some unique content, potentially add like specifications of a product on that product page, then it starts to rank very well, very quickly as well. So that's the reason why. But I wouldn't necessarily say e-commerce sites rank easier, if that makes sense.
And Nature says, if I buy 2 expired domains and redirect them to my site, will it harm my site or penalize by Google? Which method is better to work on that expired domain or to redirect expired domains to our site?
You need to line up the relevance. So, for example, if you're getting a bakery website and it's got loads of links, let's say it's got a couple of links from Forbes, it has a Wikipedia link, etc., and you're redirecting it through to, I don't know, your gardening site, and it's got nothing to do with bakery, then it might work for a little bit, but when Google roll out their next core algorithm update, you're probably going to get spanked.
And Bird's Life says, I just launched the website. After how many days should I start publishing blogs? I would say ASAP. Start publishing blogs ASAP. Like for us, plenty of sites, we've launched a lot of blogs from day one and it ranks really well. So thank you everyone for asking so many questions. Please smash the like on this video if you enjoyed it, just so we can reach more people and help more people for free. And Kazra, honestly, really appreciate you answering all those questions. Thank you very much.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
And if you want to get a free SEO strategy session, feel free to book that. Links inside the comments and description. We'll basically jump on a call one-to-one with you and show you exactly how to rank step by step, build you out a game plan, and personalize everything that we've talked about today to your site. Thank you. Bye-bye.